I'm Dan Drake. This is Front Up on Geno TV and Channel 99. Our guest today is Alan Bell, a local businessman, right?
Yes, I am.
Very much so.
40 years now.
40
Just
years.
November made 40 years.
Is that when you bought Nantucket Pharmacy?
It is, yes. Yeah. Pretty. It's a long. I couldn't wait to say 5 years, and here we are.
Yeah. Well, that's quite a stand.
Yeah. It's been good.
But you also own Island Pharmacy.
Island Pharmacy,
and Island Variety.
And Island Variety.
And one of the things we want to talk today is about the move of Island Variety out to the Paston property. And,
yes, hopefully dispel some rumors or whatever is going on. But yes, I'll be glad to.
When are you moving?
We were supposed to be in January 1st, just logistically and delays as usual. Probably mid to end of January, rather than we just decided to just wait and do it the right way.
Yeah. So what have been the rumors?
Well, even people assume that the pharmacy is going there, you know, and
Island Pharmacy?
Island Pharmacy would move out there, but Island Pharmacy is staying where it is on Pleasant Street. It's just a variety store over at Freedom Square. Our lease is up. We've been there since 2000. We've renewed it again. And Egan Maritime has been a great landlord, but at some point I'm sure, will want to take possession of the building. And so we're moving.
They're around in the other building now, right?
They're in a building. Yeah, so they're renting that, whereas we're paying them rent.
Have they owned it for a long time? Your space? Our
space, yes. Originally it was Albert and Bud Egan and his wife. Then it became Mrs. Egan, then went to the Egan Maritime Trust.
Okay.
And Wayne Holmes actually was in there at some point. So it's time for them to move in and take that space, and we would like more space. Right now we have about 2,000 square feet.
You don't have any real storage space, do you, where you are now?
We have nothing. We have upstairs. We have it at Island Pharmacy in the basement. So we have nothing. So we'll get about 1,000 square feet of storage and 3,800 square feet of retail. So it's actually going to double it.
That's quite
something. Should be double. So
are you adding lines?
Getting at a few lines. I'd like to get into the housewares a little bit, sort of like Nantucket Gourmet. Yes, I know Marine has it, but I just always felt Nantucket Gourmet was always a great little spot.
It was a great spot.
And so we'd like to put some stuff there, expand our crafts, expand our gifts, and it's a scary time though, because with technology and getting everything the next day.
Somebody I interviewed earlier was actually saying that she knows people. She lives in Naushop, which is out near you.
Yep.
She knows people in Naushop who order from stores downtown online.
Really? Yeah. No, just it's so convenient. Yeah. So we just have to be, and that's why I keep telling Tony, we just have to be able to stay ahead of it. Yeah. Be able to adapt.
Well, maybe you have a facility that people can order and come pick it up or whatever.
That may be the future. Yeah. It really may be. Well, plus right next to the UPS store.
That's right.
Which is kind of good. So yeah, it'll be great.
Is there going to be another retail building or two out there?
At some point, the plan is for 5. They call it retail liner buildings. So up to, and I think they would like a restaurant, a coffee shop, and service type buildings in there. But yeah, there'll be up to 5 fronting Old South Road.
I know they're moving the road because
they're moving the roads and they move down
about
past to where the Gulaki's house was. So, and it'll be more of a straight shot to the new housing development out there.
You worried about traffic?
I'm very worried about traffic. Yes, Old South Road. I believe there's going to be a turning lane, and that'll help. But Old South Road is backing up. Old South Road is backing up to Amelia Drive. Old South Road is backing up past that, and there will be people will go into the Mid Island. They will go to Stop and Shop. They will deal with the whole Mid Island. They won't deal with downtown. I'm also afraid that they're not going to go past the Rotary at some point in the summer. But hopefully that in 5-10 years, the whole Old South Road thing will be a little more smooth. But I am worried about people not wanting to travel there. Whereas Island Variety, where it is now, people didn't know where it was because it's sort of hidden.
But you had parking.
It had parking.
Easy access.
It was easy access. So now the question is, will we be worth the trip? I know it's not a trip, but in many people's minds, it's a trip. If it's going to take you 10 minutes to get past the Rotary and 10 minutes to back to the Rotary, So we will see. But I'm excited about it.
Yeah, good. Downtown. You've been there for 40 years.
40 years.
You've seen a lot of changes.
A lot of changes, yeah.
Do you think, is there a future for downtown in the off season here?
There is a future. Downtown stays amazingly busy through December. The only real slow time is January, February, March, and maybe April. But no, I think as long as there's businesses there, I think when the town does sort of move permanently, town building, they get into Fairgrounds Road, that might be a problem. But people not everybody. There's a certain population that love going downtown, and they like coming into the store. They like Main Street. But there's also many people that drop people off at the boat and don't go any further than they have to.
How important is the presence of the soda fountain? I know it's run by somebody else, but how important is it to the business?
Oh, it's critical. It's a welcome. Yes, we try to leave the door open as much as possible, but at times when we have not in the past, when we've actually closed the soda fountain for a day, people walk right on by. Yes, it might be nice to have a lot more square footage to sell product, but I don't think people would come in. And yes, it's also logistically, people are coming in and they can't get by. It's just, I think the soda fountain's a big draw. I really do. It's
certainly a draw for off-islanders who come by and I've seen them, their mouths drop open and say, "What's this?"
Yeah, no. So it's neat. It's that old nostalgia, and so we try to keep it old.
But even with the changes, and you don't have the Butners and the Sports Locker and those stores anymore. But there's enough, you think, down there still to keep it viable.
The Main Street, yes. Main Street. I really do. I believe in Main Street. I would like to see some sort of parking solution at some point, but that's been 50 years of developing. I'd like some parking solution, but otherwise people will go there. And I think the best event on Nantucket is the Halloween parade. Everybody goes downtown there, and that's the best local event. And so I think that's a great thing. But I think people will travel there. So I have faith in it. Yes, the pharmacy maybe does less and less business during the winter months, but the summer keeps us going through. So I think it's nice to be there.
Yeah, good. I'm a believer in downtown.
Yeah,
so I'm glad to hear that you see some hope there.
Yeah, I do have hope. Again, I think the town building leaving is inevitable, but I think that's going to hurt. But as long as businesses are...
Well, it is already hurt in the sense that the selectmen's meetings aren't there anymore. And
we've adapted, so I think there's a future.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, definitely.
What about the pharmacy business? Is there a future for the pharmacy business?
Downtown is going to be tougher. Our numbers prescription numbers are down a little bit. And our clientele is an older clientele during the off-season. At some point, possibly 10 years, I can see. In fact, what made us great again was Congdon's Pharmacy. Unfortunately, him selling, the two of us competing against each other just wasn't doing it.
Right.
And that's why originally I got into Island Pharmacy out of town, because I knew one of us was not going to make it. So once he sold the building at a great time, just before the crash. Once that went. Did not go under. Once it sold,
closed.
It closed, we did really well. So that's been our success is that they closed. Plus, I've got a great crew there. They care a lot. So it's good. So I think we're in good shape.
What about flu shots? Let's talk about those a little bit.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of talk this year that the flu shot program hasn't worked as well.
I mean, you never know, because again, the CDC, Center for Disease Control, in March of every year, pick 3 strains, or actually, if there's a quadrivalent, they'll pick the 4th strain of virus. So it's standard throughout the U.S. and it's a best guess. They have, because viruses mutate, and so they've sort of always been keeping the H1N1, the H3N2, and always a third. And there's different strains of it. So the CDC has virus strains going back to the 1910. And so they can pick and tweak whatever they want from it. And so it's a best guess. I think it's a good protection. I recommend it for everybody, just because the more you're protected, the more you're not getting other people sick. And it's also very press related. If the press is saying it's going to be a bad flu season, all of a sudden people are coming out. One year we didn't do much. We did okay, and then all of a sudden in January, the flu broke out, and we did more in January than we did all end of September, October, November, December.
But there's talk now that there's a big outbreak.
And so I have not seen it. I know there is sort of an outbreak, but nobody's been coming forward. We're just sort of plodding along at this point. But most people get it early. There's definitely the people who get it every year. They get it in October. But then there's people that drag along. But nobody's panicked yet. And also they're getting ready to generally go away for the holidays, so they might do it now because it takes 2 weeks to fully kick in. So if they're traveling,
they should have gotten it already.
They should be getting it now. Yeah. So. Okay. But no.
Well, Allan, thank you for your insights, and wish you well with the move of Island
thank
Variety.
You.
And I think people will also be glad to know what's probably going to happen to the space you're in now. I've heard a lot of questions about.
That'll be a great use.
So
anyway,
it's good. Best
of
luck. Happy holidays.
Thank you. Definitely.